What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and football is back. We had the 2025 preseason opener, the NFL Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, on Thursday night. The Chargers get the win 34-7 at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it was a blowout. Trey Lance played well. He got the start, played the entire first half and into the second half, into the third quarter a little bit. He played well. He scored 2 touchdowns through 2 touchdown passes. Looked good. And for the Lions, they played poorly as a team. I mean, I know you can't take a ton away from it because the starters didn't play and all that stuff, but I know Dan Campbell isn't happy about 5 turnovers. They lost the turnover battle 5-0 to the Chargers, and you're not going to be competitive and in many games with 5 turnovers, losing 5-0 in the turnover battle. So, it started with the opening kickoff. The Lions fumbled the opening kick, and the Chargers recovered. And then Trey Lance throws a touchdown pass to Will Disley, and it's a 7-0 lead. It was a nice touch pass. That's something that we haven't seen a lot from Trey Lance in his limited experience. Is a nice touch pass over the defender, drops it into the tight end Will Disley. So 7-0 Chargers lead. Kicker Cameron Dicker for the Chargers misses a 52-yard field goal. We got our first doink of the season as he hit the post. So it stayed 7-0. But then Lions quarterback Kyle Allen, he got the start. He throws an interception to corner Nico Reed, who returns it. Should have been a pick six. He was gone, but he got caught at like the 5-yard line. But that's turnover number 2 right there. Down 7-0, throws an interception. Nico Reed jumps the route and, was just about gone, but got caught at the 5-yard line. Jim Harbaugh was with some praise for Nico Reed after the game. Undrafted rookie, stepping up and playing well in the preseason. The Chargers capped that drive off. Start at the 5-yard line. Running back Kamani Vidal runs it in for a 2-yard touchdown. Just like that, it's 14-0 Chargers. Then, always a cool sight, veteran safety Tony Jefferson. Been in the league for a while. Was thought to, be retired or be done playing, but he signs with the Chargers. He plays in the Hall of Fame game, and he picks off Kyle Allen in the end zone. So Kyle Allen throws his second interception. That's turnover number 3 for the Lions, in the first half already. And so that takes points off the board. The Lions do end up, Chargers go 3 and out after that interception. And Lions running back Craig Reynolds runs in a 3-yard touchdown. So at that point, it's 14-7. You think maybe, this isn't going to be a blowout. The Lions are going to get back into this. But Trey Lance leads the Chargers on a drive and throws a 15-yard touchdown pass to rookie wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith. And the Chargers take a 21-7 lead into halftime. Like I said, Trey Lance looked really good. Threw 2 touchdown passes, no turnovers. I think he threw like 5 interceptions in the preseason last year with the Cowboys. But a clean game with the Chargers. The no turnovers is the thing that you like the most. Also, you like him, just being accurate and consistent. And maybe Trey Lance coming into the Chargers as the backup might be the best decision for him because Jim Harbaugh has had so much success developing quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Jim Harbaugh's resume, he might be the best quarterback developer in the game. Alex Smith was considered a bust. Number 1 overall pick by the 49ers, had not developed into anything until Jim Harbaugh was hired as head coach. And then we all know what Alex Smith's career turned into, a pretty good starter for many years with the Niners, with the Chiefs, even briefly with the Commanders at the end of his career. So he developed Alex Smith when no one had done it yet. He developed Colin Kaepernick. He got the most out of Colin Kaepernick and went to a Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? So Colin didn't turn into an elite quarterback in the NFL, but he had his moments and Harbaugh got the most out of him. Andrew Luck at Stanford. Jim Harbaugh was the head coach at Stanford and developed Andrew Luck into, the quarterback that he was, another number 1 overall pick. And then J.J. McCarthy, he developed J.J. McCarthy, won a national championship with him, got J.J. picked in the first round, and now we'll see what McCarthy can be with the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell. But Jim Harbaugh's just had success with every quarterback he's gotten his hands on, and that's why we have high expectations for Justin Herbert, and this might be a great situation for Trey Lance to go and be a backup and learn from Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. We go to the second half with the Chargers up 21-7, and Lions undrafted rookie wide receiver Jacoby Keeney James muffs a punt, and the Chargers recover at the Detroit 5-yard line. So that's turnover number 4 to start the second half. 4 turnovers already. The Lions just played sloppy. There's no, nothing to say. They're just sloppy football, and that's going to be something we have to keep an eye on. The Lions are adjusting to a whole new coaching staff. They do, you still have Dan Campbell, but new offensive coordinator in John Morton, new defensive coordinator in Kelvin Shepard, a bunch of, and that's just the beginning, a bunch of positional coaches that are new. They lost Antoine Randall L, multiple guys they lost from that staff. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this is a wake-up call for the Lions. I'm sure Dan Campbell is going to be all over his team after this performance and have them ready to play a lot better in their next preseason game. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker makes 2 third-quarter field goals from 23 and 27 yards. So the Chargers lead 27-7 going into the fourth. Kamani Vidal runs in another touchdown, his second of the game, to give a 34-7 Chargers lead. And then lastly, Lions quarterback Hendon Hooker, who's expected to be the number 2 quarterback behind Jared Goff. Some, Lions fans and some people have very high expectations for Hendon Hooker, including NBC's Rodney Harrison. But Hendon Hooker did not look good in this game. He just struggled. He was inconsistent. Didn't look that good, and then threw an interception. Now, this isn't totally his fault, as he hit rookie wide receiver Dominic Lovett in the hands, but Chargers undrafted rookie corner Miles Purchase steals the ball away from him, rips the ball away, and has a nice long return on the other end of it. So that is something to keep an eye on, though, if you're a Lions fan, is the backup quarterback position. I know Jared Goff has been able to stay healthy for the most part since coming to Detroit, but you always want to have a decent backup just in case. Worst case scenario, knock on wood, that your starting quarterback gets hurt and has to miss any time, whether it's a game, 2 games, or the season. You know what I mean? And having Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker as your backups is not good. And I've been saying for a while that the Lions need a better backup quarterback. And they need to get a quarterback of the future, because how many years does Jared Goff have left playing at an elite, at a good enough level? You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest Jared Goff fan, and I think the Lions can do better at the quarterback position, but they're happy with Goff. And my biggest thing is, who's the backup? And right now they're saying it's Hendon Hooker, but based on how he looked in the Hall of Fame game, I wouldn't have a lot of trust in that. Kyle Allen with 2 interceptions as well. So I don't know. Lions, your best case scenario is keep Jared Goff healthy. And on top of that, you lost Frank Ragnow to retirement. You lost Kevin Zeitler in free agency. So the offensive line has lost a couple guys too. So, that's some things to keep an eye on if you're a Lions fan going into 2025. But regardless, the Chargers get the win in the preseason Hall of Fame game, 34-7. A blowout win for the LA Chargers in Canton, Ohio. Trey Lance throws 13 of 20 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. Solid performance from him. That's something that I had my eye on. That's one of the things that I wanted to watch in this Hall of Fame game, was Trey Lance getting the start and playing in the entire first half. And he looked very good. He looked solid. So credit to Trey Lance. Good job on him. Running back Kamani Vidal runs 9 times for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good performance from him. Rookie wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith, 2 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Good debut for the rookie. Tight end Will Disley, 2 catches for 14 yards and a touchdown. He's a nice, solid, role player tight end who can fill in and help the team out. Veteran safety Tony Jefferson with the interception heading into his 10th NFL season. The 2 undrafted rookie corners with interceptions. That's good, for the Chargers and their defense. And Cameron Dicker, 2 for 3 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. So, solid performance from Cameron Dicker. You'd like to see him make that 52-yarder that he hit the post, but he's a good kicker, and I expect him to have a good season coming up for the Chargers. For the Lions, Kyle Allen struggles. 9 of 14 for 91 yards isn't bad, but 2 interceptions is. Should have been a pick 6 in there as well. Hendon Hooker, like I said, struggles. 3 for 6 for 18 yards and an interception. He tried to run a couple times and didn't really do much there as well. The Lions want him to be quarterback too, but at this point, I say the backup quarterback position for Detroit is pretty shaky. So we'll see how that goes. That's something to keep an eye on. Running back Craig Reynolds combines for 48 yards and a touchdown. He's always solid as, your third-string running back behind David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Rookie wide receiver Dominic Lovett with 5 catches for 31 yards out of Georgia. He's a nice piece. What was he? I gotta look up. I think he was like a 5th-round draft pick out of Georgia, but he's a nice piece. He can be productive for the Lions receivers. So that's a player to keep an eye on if you're a Lions fan. Nice debut with 5 catches in the Hall of Fame game. And rookie wide receiver Isaac Tesla, 2 catches for 46 yards. 2 rookie wide receivers that could have some immediate impact. Even come regular season. Dan Campbell's not going to be happy with special teams. 2 fumbles on returns for special teams. So that's something they're obviously going to have to get cleaned up. And he can't be happy with the turnovers. 5 turnovers is unacceptable. And so we'll see if they clean that up. And then the big storyline for the Lions is obviously the 2 new coordinators. Offensive coordinator John Morton, defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard. How will those guys do replacing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? I think it's natural to expect a little bit of a step back, a little bit of a decline. We know how good both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were in their time with the Lions, so it's natural to expect a little bit of a drop back from these new guys filling in that have never been coordinators before. So at least Kelvin Shepard, I know that. So for the Chargers, Trey Lance looked good. Can he develop into a solid backup quarterback for Justin Herbert? Can he learn from Herbert and Jim Harbaugh and develop his game? He was a high, number 3 overall pick in the draft, and so he's kind of been labeled a bust since then. And this is maybe his best opportunity to, start over his career, get developing and progressing in the right direction. So that's it for the Hall of Fame game. Congrats to the 2025 NFL Hall of Fame class. Wide receiver Sterling Sharp, great to see him get in. Cornerback Eric Allen, hell of a career. Tight end Antonio Gates was awesome for the Chargers. And defensive end Jared Allen for the Chiefs, Vikings, and Bears. But most notably with the Vikings was a great defensive end. And then lastly, 3-star players have trade requests in the NFL right now. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, and as recently as yesterday, Cowboys defensive end Micah Parsons. Now, I will say all 3 of these players are seeking new contracts. This happens this time of year, and I expect all three to get paid and to remain on the team they're at right now. I expect, Trey Hendrickson to stay in Cincy, Terry McLaurin to stay with the Commanders, and Micah Parsons to stay with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is acting a fool with Micah Parsons. That should be a no-brainer to pay him, keep him happy. He's the best player on the team, the leader of the locker room. Pissing him off is only going to hurt the team. You want to take care of Micah Parsons right now. That should be a no-brainer deal. Make him the highest paid defensive end. I mean, what are we talking about, Jerry? Like, just pay the dude. We know you're going to pay him eventually, so just go ahead and pay him now and keep him happy. For the Commanders, I don't see why you wouldn't pay Terry McLaurin. He's Jaden Daniels' number one receiving option. He's the best receiver on the team. You want to keep him happy. You want to keep Jaden Daniels developing in the right direction. So, yeah, I don't see the issue with that as well. Pay Terry McLaurin. And then the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson, 17-plus sacks 2 years in a row, or 17 and a half? That should be a no-brainer as well. He's leading the NFL in sacks the last 2 years combined. Led the NFL in sacks last year. Pay him. That defense was terrible, last year with him. You already lost Sam Hubbard to retirement. What are you going to do, lose Trey Hendrickson too? Pay him. So we'll see if these teams wise up and get their guys paid. And, man, I don't know about you, but I'm just excited to be talking some football. Have a game to watch. And we're just getting started. There's going to be a whole bunch of preseason games starting on Thursday and this coming Thursday. And we're going to have football from now until February. So strap in, get your beer, get ready to go, get your edibles, fire up that joint, get ready to watch tons of football. John Abraham is going to be on the show weekly. Chad Brown is going to be on the show weekly, both 15-year NFL vets. So stay tuned, for checking out what those guys have to say all season long. Amanda's going to be back very soon. We're going to have AAA all season long. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Check us out on TikTok. Check us out on Twitter. Follow along all season long. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and have a great week. Peace out.